equivalent and simplified fractions. Okay, now underneath here, I'd like you to draw a little diagram for me. Okay, how should we make it? Yeah, okay. Draw for me a little square that's divided up into 4 rows and 4 columns, like this. 4 rows and 4 columns. Okay, draw that. All right. Now this is what I'm going to use to illustrate the fact that when we talk about fractions, right, there's lots of different ways to say the same thing. Not just fractions and percentages and decimals, but even different fractions that mean the same thing. They're equivalent. Okay. Now there's your little box there. Okay. I want you to shade half of it for me, like so. And if you have another color, that would be helpful. It'll probably make it a little clearer. Okay. Now hopefully you've drawn yours a little more accurately than mine, and your 16 squares are all about the same size. Okay. Now I asked you to shade half of it, right? A half. Okay. But how many squares did you shade? Like the little squares?
8.
And there were 8, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. So that means this fraction is the same as 8 out of how many little squares are there in total? We said 16, right?
I'm smart.
Okay.
Alright, give us the other one.
So you can see here, right? How did I get this? The numerator and the denominator. If I multiply them by the same number, I multiply by 8 on the top and 8 on the bottom. They're all the same. Yep. Okay. So you can see, yeah, it kind of does. I can multiply by any number I like, so long as I do it to the top and the bottom, and these fractions will all be the same. They'll all be equivalent. Okay, so give me a number.
Can I give you just any number?
Not too big, so that I can do it in my head.
Wait, can we just give you like...
I'm just going to do 5.
Why did you say 56?
I can't do 56 in my head, unfortunately. 8 times 5. You guys know your times tables. That's 40, isn't it? 40. Okay. 16 times 5. That's 80. And just as you'd expect, 40 over 80 would be still like, so that would be dividing up these squares into smaller pieces. But it's still the same fraction. Okay. So all of these, they're all
Little babies.
kind
How
of
do you do those like lines like with separation really fast?
practice.
I'm gonna practice.
These are all equivalent fractions. Okay. They're all equivalent, but one and only one of these fractions is the simplified fraction. The simplest one, or reduced to its simplest form. Which one is it? Yeah. It's 1 over 2. Now, what makes that one? What makes a half 1 over 2? What makes it the simplest one? 1 over 2, I can't make these numbers any smaller. 40 over 80, I can reduce those, still have the same fraction. 8 over 16, I can keep going. 1 over 2, though, I can't, there are no whole numbers smaller than 1, are there? So I'm kind of stuck. This is as far as I can go. This guy here is the simplest, or the simplified fraction.